Are you thinking about a mid-size SUV but tired of the same old names? Here's what they don't tell you about the 2026 Renault Koleos and why it might quietly beat the favorites this year. Stick around, because the pricing twist at the end could save you a chunk of cash. If you want a family SUV that feels modern without shouting for attention, this is one you need to know. Today we're breaking down the 2026 Renault Koleos in plain English. Design, tech, power, safety, and trims. All the stuff that actually matters when you're about to sign papers. By the end, you'll know which version fits your life and which upgrade is worth it. Let's start with the look, because first impressions still count in the parking lot. The Koleos now wears bold, C-shaped LED headlamps that make the front end easy to spot at night and in photos. It sits on big 20-inch alloy wheels that fill the arches and give it a planted stance without going full off-road cosplay. You also get a panoramic sunroof, which turns the cabin from normal to airy on sunny days and helps passengers feel less cramped on long drives. The rest of the body leans more sculpted than before, with cleaner lines that make it look newer than rivals that haven't barely changed. It's not trying to be wild, just sharp and current, and that's a sweet spot for this class. Inside is where the Koleos takes the biggest leap. Front and center is a huge 15-inch touchscreen that runs the show. Fewer buttons, cleaner dash, and the kind of layout you learn in 5 minutes, not 5 weeks. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are very likely here, so your phone slides into the system without a cable mess. There's a 10-speaker Bose setup, which means podcasts sound crisp and bass doesn't get muddy when the road gets rough. 3-zone climate control lets the driver, front passenger, and rear seats pick their own temps, so the classic cold front, warm back fight is over. Expect a modern digital instrument cluster that can swap views for maps or driver info, which makes road trips less tiring and daily commutes more calm. Materials should scale with trims from solid basics to leather-leaning finishes in the top spec, so you can choose comfort without overpaying for stuff you won't use. Power matters, and the Koleos gives you 2 takes on the same 2-liter Turbo 4. The base tune makes up the 215 horsepower, which is more than fine for city runs and highway merges. If you want stronger punch, the higher tune pushes up the 235 horsepower and 350 Nm of torque, and that's where it gets lively for passing. Both pair with a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic, so shifts land fast and smooth without the rubbery feel you get from some CVTs. You can pick 4x2 if you live in dry, flat places, or 4x4 if you want confidence in heavy rain, light trails, or weekend trips to the hills. Either way, expect smart fuel tweaks like start-stop and gearing that keeps revs low on the highway. Now, the big one for families and daily drivers. Safety tech jumps to level 2 driver assistance, which means the car helps steer, keep lanes, match speed, and brake when traffic does something dumb. Renault lists 29 driver assist features, so think adaptive cruise, lane keep, blind spot watch, rear cross traffic alert, parking help, and traffic sign readouts. The point isn't to drive for you, it's to make bad days less stressful and long days less draining. Paired with the big screen and better cameras, you end up with a calmer, safer ride that still feels like you're in control. Let's talk trims and money, because this is where decisions get real. The lineup starts with the Koleos Evolution 4x2 at $34,990. That gets you the fresh design, the big screen, the core safety kit, and enough power for everyday life. If you want everything, the top Koleos Intense 4x4 lends around $48,500, packing the stronger engine tune, the full assist suite, nicer seats likely, and the details that make it feel premium. Between those, you'll see mid-trims that let you add what you care about without paying for what you don't use. Here's the simple way to choose. If you mostly do city and highway with a light foot, the 215 horsepower 4x2 is the smart buy. If you carry family gear and want confident passing at speed, the 235 horsepower with 4x4 is the one you won't outgrow. So, where does the 2026 Koleos land in the class? It nails the 3 things buyers actually feel every day. A cabin that looks and works like a modern device, a powertrain that's smooth instead of shouty, and safety tech that catches the stuff you miss when you're tired. It's not trying to be a track toy, it's built to be easy to live with for years, and that's often the better choice than a spec sheet flex you never use. Here's the key moment you were waiting for. If your budget is tight, the Evolution at $34,990 is not a compromise. It's the value play with the right tech and the right look. If you want the full experience, the Intense at $48,500 earns its price with real upgrades you can feel on day 1 and on day 1,000. Either way, the Koleos finally feels like the model that can pull shoppers away from the usual picks without a big speech at the dealership. Quick recap before you test drive. Bold C-shaped LEDs, 20-inch wheels, and a panel roof on the outside. A clean cabin with a 15-inch screen, Bose audio, and 3-zone climate inside. Two 2-liter turbos at 215 and 235 horsepower with a quick 7-speed DCT. Level 2 driver assist with up to 29 helpful features. Pricing from $34,990 to $48,500, so you can match power and features to your life.